Hi, welcome to part 39. We will look at some more questions now. If you have not yet subscribed, do so. It will help you with cloud certifications, majorly Azure Cloud, Google Cloud, and AWS Cloud. See, in this question, you have some files. Okay. See this. So this is your storage. Okay. This is your storage. You have some files. These are all files. Now you want to read these files from where you have a database. That database is called Azure Synapse. From that Synapse, you have to read these files. From this Synapse database, you have to read these files. You are not loading it, you are reading it, not loading it. What three actions we need to follow? The first, we will attack what looks wrong. Create table. This is wrong. Why? Did we tell you that we have to load the data? No. Why are you creating a table then? You are not supposed to load the data. Why are you creating a table? Do not create the table. Fantastic. The next thing which looks visibly wrong is creating a query that uses create table. Because I am not supposed to load the data. Data goes into a table. So why will I load the table? I don't want to load the data. I don't want the table. I don't want to load the data. So I don't want a table. Okay, boss. But you need something like a table. Yes, boss. You need external table. If you read it this way, we have to create an external table, not a plain table. Not a plain table. Okay. The other thing you have to do is you have to create an external data source also. This is a data source. For the database, this is a data source. So you have to create that. So this is also right. And you have to create an external file format object. But the question says arrange them in an order. These three options are right, but which one should go first, which one second, which one third? First you create data source. First you want to see, you want to talk to a girl. First you should know what is her number. You create that data source. Create that data source. Okay, who's the girl you want the number? First, that is the data source. Who's the girl you want the number? You don't want number of 10 girls. Only one girl you like. Second is create external file format object. Okay, so this is a file stored in the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. So you have to create an external file format object. Third thing is you have to create an external table within this database, Synapse database, this database, you have to create an external table. See, first we should understand what is a Synapse Analytics database. It is, see, why do we use? If you have data warehouse, lot of data, or big data systems, enormous amount of data, then we use Synapse Analytics. First of all, that is the point. So you have to create external tables that can be located in Hadoop, store blob. In our case, it is data lake storage, because the question says here, you see this data lake storage, but then it can be anything. It can be Hadoop, it can be Azure blob storage, or data state store, or data lake storage. Can be anything. Okay. And with Synapse SQL, you can use external tables to read external data using dedicated SQL pool or serverless SQL pool. So you have this Hadoop external tables, which can be in CSV, Parquet, ORC format. You can have native external tables that is also CSV and Parquet format. For you, I should tell you should always, in real world, whenever we do any project implementations, we use Parquet file formats. Okay, so this is our final answer. These three options in the same order, first, second, third. Do not change the order, otherwise you will get 0 marks. Now this is the next question. You are designing a financial transaction table in Azure Synapse. So you have this Azure Synapse. You are creating one small table, and this table has clustered column store index. That is why we use index for faster query retrievals, so that it gives you high query performance, high query performance, high query performance. That is why we use column store index. So this is a good blog. You can pause this video, read this carefully. You can pause this part if you want to read more details. What does column store index do? That is important. It is available in two flavors: column store index for data mart analytics workload, and non-clustered column store index to run analytics load on operational data. The two different things. Okay, so you should not mix up both. Okay, that is fine. We understood. Synapse Analytics, and etc. And we understood column store. Now what? Okay, see, this table will have column store index on what fields? On transaction type, custom segment, transaction month. These are the volumes of data. Account type, 500 million per account type. Right? Okay, you have the following query requirements. You want to analyze. Analyst will most commonly analyze transactions in a given month. How many transactions in a given month? How many transactions in a given month? So if you want to do this query, on which field you want your index, on which field you want, okay, on the, we have to put partition strategy. So which field you will do? See, we want to minimize query time, so we want one partition to contain that entire data so that query doesn't scan partitions after partitions. It should not happen 5 partitions. Some it's like this. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now some data it will scan from this one to 2 records from this, 2 records from this. We don't want that. We want, if you want to retrieve 10 records, everything should come from one partition. So you want analyst to analyze transactions for a given month. So I will put the partition on month, then and then transactions will typically summarize transactions by transaction type, customer segment, and account type. This is a summary. The summary means you are using sum of something and group by clause. Okay, but uh, we sh we should be using partition strategy on the, in terms of SQL, on the where clause, where or having clause, where or having. We should not put partition on summarized columns. Whatever you are putting in select clause or group by clause, you should not put partition there. You got the strategy? Partition should always happen. Whatever fields you want to include in the where clause or having clause, there you should do. That is why transaction month is our answer. This is the final answer. See, this is our next question. In this question, what is happening? See, you are storing files in data lake storage. What is data lake storage? See, you are doing a lot of big data analytics. You put your data in data lake storage. Data lake storage is meant for data lake kind of applications where you deal with lots and lots and lots and lots of data. So what do you have? You got a storage policy. This is your policy. This is your policy. This is your policy. Got it? This is your policy. What are the key things we should remember here? It is defining a life cycle. Okay. It is doing a delete after creation greater than 60 days. After 60 days, it is saying delete. Or move to cool tire. After what? After 30 days, move to cool tire. So after 50 days, what is happening? After 30 days, what is happening? Sorry, 30 days. What is happening? Move to cool tire, cool storage. This is what happens. Okay, the storage policy applies to which path, which file, which path. Okay, I see it applies to this one, container one, contoso. So that means container one, contoso.csv is my answer. So I got my final 2 answers. Okay, I got my answers. These are my answers. See, again a question, leveraging data lake storage container. It contains CSV files. Okay, you have this data lake storage container. It has CSV files. Suppose these 3 CSV files. Size of the files vary on the number of events that occur per hour. File sizes range from 4 KB to 5 GB. So files can be very small. It can be very big. See, out of these files, what you have to do? You have to do batch processing. Batch processing. That means there are 2 such kinds of processing: real-time processing, batch processing. Real-time means even a one record comes from system A, like system A, you have one record, system B, immediately it will go. That is real-time. Batch processing means one record comes, 2 record comes, 3 record comes, etc. You collect everything and send everything in a batch. If that is the case, what format should you use? Should you compress the files? Should you compress the files? See, the first best option is converting to a Parquet file. We don't have Parquet option here. We do not have Parquet option here. Then what is the next one? Will you merge the files? The files are already 5 GB. Suppose will you merge 2 5 GB files? You would screw up the system. It will become very slow. So this is wrong. Will you compress the files? See, 5 GB, you can think, okay, let me compress it. But 4 KB, it is already so small. What's the advantage you will get from compressing it? So if you don't have Parquet file format, Parquet is columnar. It is compressed by default. If you don't have Parquet, the next good option is Avro. Remember this as a thumb rule. The next good option is Avro. So convert the file to Avro format. Now you might say, what is Avro format? So come here, go through this. Whenever you see such documentation in Azure, very good thing is they already give you tips and where it does it apply. Avro format, it applies to Azure Data Factory Service, Azure Synapse Analytics. These two services it applies. What are the properties of Avro? That the location you have to set, Avro compression codec property you can set. Okay, these are the things you have to set. This is an example Avro file. It ultimately it is a JSON file only, but it looks like this. We call it Avro. Okay, so they have to specify a compression codec, which is in this case Snappy. They have used Snappy as a compression, but they provide folder path, container, and what type of storage they are going to use. Okay, and then copy activity properties. If Avro is used as a source, then you set these two properties. If you are using Avro as a sink, that means there is a target. Sink means target. Sink means target. Then you have to set these properties. Okay, you can pause and read if you want to read more. I'm just briefly touching these topics so that you remember these things. So this brings us to the end of this part. Suppose if you have not yet subscribed, do so. Tomorrow, 4th of June 2024, election results are going to be released. We don't know who will win and etc. But a lot of speculation going on. Both the opposition as well as the ruling people are saying we will win, we will win. Let's see. But you keep learning. Prepare for cloud technologies certification. Azure, Google Cloud, AWS. This channel will help you with clearing these certifications. There are n number of videos on various certifications. Within Azure, you have so many different certifications. We are trying to cover that. Within AWS, you have so many certifications. We are covering that also. So, one-stop shop. See, our channel focus is you should understand is focus on the concepts, because using these concepts you can answer the questions easily. Plus, you will able to be work in any project. If you just rectify, you cannot work in a project. You get exposed. Even clearing an interview becomes a problem. So why do a certification that way? Better to understand the concept so that you can also work in projects using this knowledge. See you in the next part.